Hello and welcome to episode 6 of PodCast. We're in the double threes.
Okay, my pick this week, the JK pick, is Flame Broiled Fury by Pooples. Yes, he's popular. I don't care. It's an awesome level. The level is quite hilarious. Mainly if you die, which I actually recommend playing this to die, which you probably will anyways. He recently added an easy mode too for those who haven't messed with it. It's a very two-dimensional side-scroller type game. It removed the in-out layers, all that stuff. But your goal is to get to wherever, like many old school games were. Just go. But it's an extremely hard level, a lot of enemies partway through, and you have to be on your toes for quite a bit of it. You use some movers, there's anti-gravity plates that push you upwards when you're in certain range, and then the only thing is with those, there's like pinball flipper doors, and when you use them, you kind of go up, and you have to go off to the side because you don't go high enough to actually close the door underneath you. Nothing major there. It's great level, very cute, I guess would be the way to put it, and plus you're collecting fast food, which is awesome.
Delicious.
Mostly.
Yeah. It's a level to play to lose once and then try to win it, because having your name on the scoreboard is better than that.
And if you don't get hurt, you get like 100,000 extra points added on.
If you can manage.
Which is actually a very reasonable point boost. So, yeah. Try to get the high score, I want to see.
Oh yeah. Right, moving on to my pick this week, which is Da Vinci's Little Racing Tower by Tristano11T1.
Which this shows that giving us your level link, be it Twitter or YouTube comments, we do check them.
Oh yes.
He told us about on YouTube. So.
This is our first actual link given to us to an LBP.me level, and it's a good level. I enjoy it quite a lot. It plays and looks just like a Da Vinci level from the actual main story mode. It's very challenging. It's a lot like the Tower of Whoop, except with much less grappling hooking. But it's still just go from one end to the other. It's timed, and the time is perfect. The first time I played it, I didn't even get there in time. The second time, I did, but I didn't have a whole lot of time left on the clock. But I know that I messed up a whole lot. So, it has just, it's right there in the butter zone for how much time you should have on your clock when you're using raisin gauge butter. Delicious butter. It's, like I said, it's very challenging, enough to make him rage quit. But,
yeah, I'd never beat it.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of fun. Like I said, the first time I didn't do very well, but I wanted to play it again. And the only thing that's really bad about it is that it is really challenging, so you just have to stick with it and get through the level, but I think it's definitely worth the play.
Podcast pick this week is a fun one to say, actually. Rotates, Straights, and Artistic States by TJ7.
This is a very long and very well-made level. All kinds of different visual styles going throughout the level, which is kind of confusing when you look at it in retrospect. It's like you're thinking about the level, and it has so many parts that are so different from each other that you kind of think it's more than one level, even though it is just one.
And there's so much going on that it feels that way. I mean, it just feels like a bunch of levels.
Oh yeah.
Which is good.
Yeah, it's very good. Level has a lot of replay value, just because it is enjoyable to play. There are lots of points all over the place, which is very cool. You can get some massive multipliers, and that's a lot of fun.
The thing is, though, when you play multiplayer, I think it's only if you have more than 2 people, but at one point you get this part so challenging that it's pretty much only one person's going to make it out of your group. But it launches you quickly past a checkpoint, and when you get launched past it, it'll respawn anybody who's died. If you have too many people there, the camera will stick to them instead of the person who actually completed it, and you have to do it all over again. So that took, I think, 4 tries when I first played it with 4 people. So
yeah, that's
it didn't end well.
that's a little jarring. And also, right towards the end, there's this space-themed chunk, and there's one planet that's floating in there with you that's thick. It's in one of the thick layers, and it kind of messes you up if you're when you're jumping around past it.
Yeah, because you float down and you land on it, and it ruins your little multiplier chain because you're drifting with the point bubbles.
And you land on the planet, and then you have to hop off of it. And that's one of the very few things that's actually off with this level. Definitely worth your time to play.
Yep.
Check that one out. And this week's M&M pick is...
I ain't saying it, I can't say it right.
The Mechaniac. It's a mixture of maniac and mechanic. Mechaniac.
By Blunt Rocker.
Oh, yes.
Cool name.
Mm-hmm.
Just a fun movie, which we seem to be on a movie trend lately.
Yeah. I'm not going to knock it.
Good point. But it's very well designed. The detail that they put into it is just astounding.
Lots of detail. Everything looks great. Very steampunky, just the way I like it.
They used his hat.
They used my hat, which is always a good thing. Also, there's very good voice acting throughout, which is...
Granted, there's only 2 voices, but...
Oh, yeah, but still.
They're great voices.
I'll take quality over quantity.
If that's the same guy doing both voices, very impressive range, too.
Oh, yes.
And he also used, the voice was localized, so when the camera panned away, the voice drifted off, and...
Yeah, which is very nice.
And the subtitles are perfectly timed.
Oh, yes. That was a very nice touch, and I actually really want to know how he managed to do that, because that was great.
I wonder how many playthroughs he had to do, like, nope,
Yeah.
okay, got this one, now this one's wrong.
But also, the only thing that we can really say about it, and this is just a very, very slight aesthetic thing, is that there's this Sackbot assembly line, and all the Sackbots are on these individual platforms, and each Sackbot is just a little bit off-center. It's just...
They're about a quarter of the way onto the platform instead of halfway.
Yeah, it's just an aesthetic thing.
But it looks like everything was made perfectly with where it is, so it might have been intentional. So
yeah, so it's not a big deal at all.
I don't know if there's going to be more, because on his planet he has like a part 2, but it's been 3 months, so I don't know if he's dropped it. I don't even know if he still plays, but...
Mm-hmm. But definitely worth looking at.
How could he quit playing?
I have no idea.
Exactly.
It's like a 7.5 minute movie, so...
Which, once again, we will have the full link down there, and if you're viewing it on our site, we will have the whole video down there, so...
Yeah, definitely check that out. So that's it for the picks this week, and now on to news. And the biggest piece of news is that I have a new PS3. So now I can go back up to the full level of PS3 playing that I was at before the first one went blarg.
Yeah. Our friends at Little Big Planet 2 blog are starting a creation contest. It's only for, I think, a week, maybe a week and a half. Very short range. We'll have the link to their post down below. Mm-hmm. But it's to make logos for their new URLs.
They recently acquired several new domains, and they want logos for them. So you just have to enter the contest. Like he said, the details will be down there, and you can win one of 4 different DLC packages for Little Big Planet 2.
2 of them were in the collector's edition, but you get to pick which one you want. The Jak and Daxter costume pack, the Ratchet and Clank costume pack, the Sly and Bentley costume pack, or the Tron Evolution mini pack, which all of them are awesome. I have all of them, so I won't be entering myself, but...
I might.
They're great, great costumes and stuff, and LBP2 blog is definitely good for it. So. Oh
yeah, they're great guys over there. So definitely check out the contest if you have any design skills at all. Definitely worth your time to check.
Even if you don't, try.
Yeah, it's something to put on the resume.
Okay, now we do have our fan art contest, which we kind of offhandedly mentioned last week, but the actual details is we're going to hold fan art every month, and this time we're going to have a little contest. The best piece of fan art gets to be in a new fan art overlay down at the bottom of the screen, which, granted, nothing major there, but
Yeah, more specifically, not the fan art will be in the overlay. Your Sackboy will be in the overlay.
yeah, sorry, I wasn't.
Yeah,
clear
you'll be
on that.
we'll be down there, like how we have the little things at the bottom of the screen.
You get to be animated with this guy in this general area.
Yeah, you'll be hanging out with us.
That one over there, not so important, but this one's really cool. You know, I might be wrong. I think you come in on this side over here, but
Yeah, me too. Anyway, that's enough for that. The details are down below. And this week's sticky notes is something that he has.
It's probably it's our biggest one, I think, at this point.
Yeah, this is the most complicated one so far.
It's microchip based, but people who make any level that uses a gun need to keep this in mind, because when you fire a gun, you want it to fire when you pull the trigger, not when you're waiting on the emitter to actually fire. Unless you have your emitter set at an extremely high rate, which looks weird.
Yeah.
But when you press R1, you want that to fire, clearly. You want to take the wire from that, connect that to an AND chip. That AND chip needs to then connect to your emitter, which needs to be set to a 1-shot. When you take your 1-shot off of that, your other end of the AND gate needs to be connected to a timer. That timer will set how fast your bullet will actually fire, and set that for whatever length of time you want. That gets connected to your microchip, and the AND gets set to your reset and your start. So that way your timer will refill on its own, and then it should fire as you press R1, which, if it's a little complex, message me and I'll...
If you look at this post on our blog, we will have a picture of the circuit diagram, so you can just use that as reference.
Yeah, it's not too hard once you learn what you're doing.
Mm-hmm. And this week's Comments and Creators is something that I would personally like to have. It's a Star Trek The Next Generation mini pack. Have 3 uniforms, one for your command officers, one for the ops officers, and one for the science officers, so the red, gold, and blue. You'd also have a...
Don't wear the red if you want to survive the level.
This is TNG that doesn't count.
Oh, well, I'm not a Star Trek.
Anyway, then there'd also be, on the belt, there would be a holster for both a tricorder and a phaser, and those would also be hand items. So a phaser or a tricorder that you'd have. Then also, of course, Picard hair, the nice captain cut with bald on top, and just have the horseshoe.
So it's more of a Picard lack of hair?
Yes, half-lack. Half-lack! Anyway, and then also I would like to have Trek-themed stickers. Like, that could be anything from just pictures of space stuff to, like, the United Federation of Planets logo, various other, like, group logos, stuff like that. But anyway, that's just something that I'd like to have because I'm a Trekkie at heart. But yeah, that's it for this week. So check out the blog, podcastlbp.com. Check out the Twitter, same name. Our gallery levels should be updated before too terribly long if they're not already updated.
Sorry, we've been kind of slow on that.
Just a little. It's usually up on Monday with this at some point. Send fan art to the email address along with your PSN name to enter in the contest, and send your levels via lbp.me links to the Twitter, and if you wish, to the YouTube. Yeah, we'll check both of them. We prefer Twitter, but YouTube is just fine.
Yep, we do check them out.
Yep.
So
have a great week in the cosmos, and we will see you again next week.
Yay! That worked.